Here's something nobody told you when you were building your healed nervous system toolkit. It doesn't matter how perfect your breath work is, how clean your supplements are, or how beautifully you understand your exhaustion pattern. If you're doing all of it at the wrong time of day, you are working against your own biology. Your nervous system doesn't just want the right tools, it wants them delivered on a schedule it already recognizes. Welcome to week 10, the beginning of phase 4, sustain. Today we're talking about why when matters every bit as much as what. If you've been with me since week 1 of the Rewire to Restore video series, you've decoded your exhaustion pattern, mapped your nervous system through 4 frameworks, and practiced real tools: breath work, adaptogens, boundaries, somatic work. That's phases 1 through 3. Phase 4 is different. This is where we stop collecting tools and start building a life, a rhythm, a structure sturdy enough to hold everything you've learned so it doesn't fall apart the first hard week. And the foundation of that structure isn't a mindset, it's biology, specifically the biology of time. Every cell in your body runs on a roughly 24-hour clock, what scientists call the circadian rhythm. It's governed by a master clock in your brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, if you want the technical term, that takes its cues primarily from light. But here's what most people don't realize. Your nervous system doesn't do its repair work evenly across the day. It has windows. Cortisol should peak about 30 to 45 minutes after waking. This is what actually gets you up and moving, not caffeine. Core body temperature and alertness peak in mid to late morning for most people. Melatonin release should begin in the 2 to 3 hours before your natural bedtime, and it is exquisitely sensitive to light. The deepest physical repair, growth hormone release, tissue repair, immune consolidation happens in the first few hours of sleep. Glymphatic clearance, your brain's overnight cleaning cycle that clears metabolic waste, runs almost exclusively during sleep. If you are chronically dysregulated, wired at night, foggy in the morning, running on cortisol instead of rest, you are very likely out of sync with this rhythm, not just stressed. And no amount of daytime tools can fully compensate for a system that never gets its overnight repair window. Everything you've practiced in phases 2 and 3, the breath work, the adaptogens, the vagal toning, works with your nervous system's natural capacity to self-regulate. But that capacity is itself rhythmic. A regulation practice done at 11 p.m. when your body wants to be winding into deep repair is fighting an uphill battle. A practice done at 7 a.m. aligned with your natural cortisol rise doesn't have to fight. This is the piece that turns your toolkit from things you do into a system that holds you. Traditional Chinese medicine mapped this same 24-hour rhythm over 2,000 years ago through the organ clock, a system that assigns 2 hours of peak energy to each major organ and this system across the day. You don't need to memorize all 12. Here are the ones that matter most for nervous system restoration. 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's gallbladder. TCM considers this hour of decision-making renewal. Being asleep here is considered essential. Staying up during this window is thought to drain long-term resilience. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is liver time. The organ most associated with emotional processing and detoxification. Waking consistently in this window is a classic TCM sign of stagnant emotion or overwhelm the body is trying to process. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. lungs. Grief and grief-adjacent emotion are said to surface here, which is why this is a common waking time during periods of loss or unprocessed sorrow. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., large intestine, the traditional window for elimination and release, physically and metaphorically. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., stomach, peak digestive fire. This is why a real breakfast, eaten with presence, does more for your energy than most people assume. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., spleen. This is associated with mental clarity and focus, your best window for demanding cognitive work. Notice what this means practically. If you're waking at 2 a.m. with a racing mind, TCM doesn't just see insomnia. It sees a liver system working overtime to process something. That reframe alone changes how you respond to it. Not with frustration, but with the question, what am I not letting myself feel during the day that my body is processing at 2 a.m.? Ayurveda's answer to the same question is Dinacharya, literally daily conduct. It's a structured daily rhythm built around the natural rise and fall of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha across the day. And it was designed for exactly the kind of restoration this series is about. So from 6 to 10 a.m., this is Kapha time. It's naturally slow, grounded, heavy. This is why forcing yourself awake at 5 a.m. to beat your body's rhythm often backfires. But waking with the Kapha window before it fully sets in supports steady, unjittery energy for the day. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is Pitta time. Digestive fire and mental sharpness peak here. This is Ayurveda's answer for when to eat your largest meal and do your most demanding work, not at 8 p.m. and not saved for a 3 p.m. slump. 2 to 6 p.m. is Vata time. Creativity, movement, and lighter tasks flow more easily here. 6 to 10 p.m. is Kapha time again. The body wants to slow down. This is the window Dinacharya protects most fiercely for winding toward rest. Dim light, lighter food, quieter input. And 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., pitta time. If you're still awake here, you'll likely get a false second wind as pitta's fire kicks in, which is exactly why so many exhausted women report feeling most on right when they should be asleep. That second wind isn't a sign you're not tired. It's a sign you missed the kapha window that would have carried you gently into sleep. And now you're borrowing energy from a system that needed it for repair. I want to be very clear about something. None of this is an invitation to build a rigid, unforgiving schedule and then punish yourself when a sick kid, a work deadline, or a bad night throws it off. That's not restoration. That's just a new way to perform perfectionism. What we're building instead is a rhythm with anchors, 2 or 3 non-negotiable time cues your nervous system can learn to trust, even when the rest of the day is chaotic. So the 3 anchors that matter most. The first is a consistent wake window within about 60 minutes daily. This single habit does more to regulate cortisol and melatonin, that timing, more than anything else. Number 2 is morning light within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. Even 5 minutes outside, even on a cloudy day, tells your master clock the day has begun. And the third one is a wind down cue, starting 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Dimmer lights, quieter input, a repeated small ritual, not a rigid bedtime, a rhythm your body starts recognizing. Layer your exhaustion pattern on top of these anchors. If you're a hormonal hurricane, protect the wind down window fiercely. Your system needs the melatonin runway. If you're a somatic store, morning light paired with movement helps discharge what accumulated overnight. If you're a constitutional mismatch, honor your dosha's natural window rather than someone else's productivity schedule. If you're a transitional transformer, consistency itself, more than any single technique, is what rebuilds your nervous system's sense of safety. Here's what I want you to take from this week. Your nervous system isn't broken because it hasn't healed yet on your timeline. It's often simply out of sync with the timeline it was designed to heal on. You don't need a more complicated protocol. You need a rhythm your body already recognizes and the willingness to work with it instead of around it. If you don't yet know your exhaustion pattern, or you want to see exactly how circadian misalignment shows up in your specific pattern, take the Energy Alchemy quiz. The link is below this video. And if you're ready to stop patching your energy together week to week and actually build the personalized rhythm your body has been asking for, the Life Force Reclamation Program is where we do that work together, module by module, with your pattern, your constitution, and your real life in mind. Next week, we talk about what happens when healing feels hard, the setbacks, the resistance, the slow seasons that are part of this work too. Not a sign you're doing it wrong. I'll see you then.